Ding dong. Hello everyone, it's time to plug and play video games. No, this isn't Smash Brothers or Pokemon games. This is a single player campaign for the Lerche mode for experienced players. So let's begin. Now you may have already known that I'm creating some body lines for the OC playing video games. Even though it's completely a lot more manageable, I had to research for some video game poses due to some major experiences doing some rage quits and a lot of high quality button mashing. I prefer button mashing for Smash Brothers, I just can't get enough of it for Smash Brothers and Mario Kart, but Mario Kart is a steering game, has a racing game due to its controls for drivers. Basically I had to hold the button and had to do so, and I had to do some posings whenever I tried to do button mash all over the place. It's kind of crazy, but even if I play fighting games, I usually do button mashing and swing around the controller, because that's really funny. Anyway, you may have remembered my OC earlier. It is Hidehike Aibe. I still get spelled because of Japanese text. You may have noticed him from playing video games with Louis Takahashi in the Battle of Players, but now it's totally different, not multiplayer. That's a single player campaign for highly experienced players who've already mastered what is completely harder. For what he's doing right now, he's playing action platforming games, and I'm guessing he's playing video games that he downloaded on his console. I'm not trying to say it because it hasn't been named just yet. It hasn't been created just yet, due to its fact that it's going to be a lot more of its originality rather than bringing it to the real world like Super Famicom or on Nintendo 64 or Nintendo Switch. It's totally going to be completely different in a different universe that has a console in each storyline. For so much cartoons and anime, I've already seen a lot of Easter eggs and references. Just like in Danganronpa 3, Beyond the Despair has a Despair arc. You can see Nanami playing Mario Kart. And for Steven Universe in the show, that I kind of watch it earlier, I can watch it again, is that Steven has a GameCube and Nintendo 64, which is kind of surprising when he had to play RPGs or some Animal Crossing games that I had to be concerned as like Pokemon. It's kind of a strange decision for having Easter eggs on cartoons and anime altogether, but this is how far away it goes. What Hidehiko's doing, he stayed up all night just trying to beat the game with 1 hour or 2 hours because it doesn't have a save feature. It's kind of like NES or Famicom that does have save features on its own, but it has a save battery on the NES on North America that you can use. And also has a save state on the Famicom disk system that can load states. Originally, I had to watch all the videos that has been stated, but it makes sense why it hasn't been there since 1986. When Goshi's staying up all night because of all of that, I just had to use a lot of shadings and highlights to make it more blue. The dark blue is the shading, has the multiply blush, and the highlight is the light blue, which is the screen brush. Basically, all that needs to be a part of with the coloring, the editing palette editing. I'm sorry, all of that with the palette editing, due to the fact that I had to do shades first, and then I had to do palette editing, and then I had to do a highlight for the screens. Basically, the screen is on, it's very close, it's HDMI. So, with the HDMI screen that's big, it's completely noticeable how bright it is due to that. It can edit colors, go to TV settings and have the cool menu, and then adjust TV mode, and then you have the few options where you want to set in. It's also a part of wherever it has to be a reasonable choice, because all the TVs had to be implemented like this. I don't know why, but every TV needs something to pop up in, like a sleep tab on. I really need some sleep. He's very tired, so I had to make sure his eyes are red, and he's very struggling how to get to the viewpoint, even if he doesn't sleep very well. I guess he has to be a drowsy man, being drunk. very drunk. Oh, I'm dizzy, but no, I'm really serious because whenever I'm doing this, it almost looks like he's tired, struggling, or where he gets mad for rage, trying to beat the game, and have lost so many lives, or having game overs, which is a lot more of the feature. Basically, where you lose all your lives and get the game over, you start from the very beginning. But if you have a save feature, it can progress continuously or continually. You can progress through the game without any hesitance. Just saying. This is a short video, but basically what I'm doing is creating a fusion of Pokemon and Mario Brothers, making it a completely action game. A completely action game that is based on Mario, but the elements of Pokemon characters. But not with their names, because I had to be sure it's going to be originality rather than the reference. Because they own the characters for Nintendo. Basically their own thing. I had to be able to calm down and continue progressing on the level I had to keep dying in. Even though if I did lose all the lives, I could get game overs. And if I had to keep trying again, it won't be able to happen. But I like playing games having game overs that have unlimited continues. Even though Super Mario Bros. 2 The Lost Levels is completely hard, I had to die at the beginning of the world I left off. On the All-Stars port, I had to be able to die so many times that I had to start from the beginning of the level. Which is kind of satisfying. I prefer the All-Stars port for doing this, but in the Famicom, not so much. I still like the Famicom version, even though if I'm a hardcore Mario game, but it's one of the struggles I have due to its hardcore players. And speaking of that, Hidehiko is using a 40p TV screen, so he has a better resolution of what he's playing for. And because of that, he is really in the rage of tedious level design. Because something like Super Mario Bros. 2 The Lost Levels is a lot more difficult and too similar to the first Super Mario Bros. Game that I had to make sure it's a reference to anything close to the storyline of the Mario characters I haven't done yet. But it's something similar that I want to do to the fact it's going to be a fantasy of what it has to offer. And something like Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link, I've never gotten into it, so it's an action RPG game. It has its 2D roots, but the top-down perspective isn't here in that. So in the next game I played Link to the Past, it's very interesting how I got it back from the first game. I can move in 8 directions. And into that perspective, I'm making sure the gamers have an easy time of what they had to do. And as for beginners, I had to be sure everything's okay with them, so they had to be struck on. Trying to get Hidehiko to be happy as an OC character, I have to make sure its elements are going to be very straightforward in what he's playing in. I'm going to keep the spoilers out, so I won't be able to tell you anything what he's playing just yet. But as he's read the story, just don't tell anyone. Anyway, he's playing a video game with a controller, even though his battery is dying. But think of it as a PlayStation 3 where he had to charge the controller while playing the game, or the Xbox 360, which is the same idea. And the future consoles are again the console wars, but I usually watch them wherever I had to depend which one is better. I think anything could be better due to its hardware. But if I had to try really hard to create a storyline, create a story arc of what happens when they had to create video games with machines, it's basically going to be the hardest thing I had to do with art design and story all together to make it seem like it feels like a console creator, a console creator. Just saying. Yeah, anyhow, as soon as we're almost done trying to get him to play later levels, there are a lot more difficulty. This is how I had to create a TV screen that is basically a mosaic. Basically mosaic, and the TV screen is on brightness. That way he can be able to see a screen without pulling a plug off. I just love the expression where he's trying to beat the game really with all the rage. If he bugs his screen, it's going to be hilarious as I watch all the videos in Video Gaming Rage. Because every time he loses it, he has to lose his temper and run away and smash his screen. Oh man, this is so funny that I had to reference that in story arc. But I'm not doing that just yet. Well, even though if I react to a whole lot of videos that has caused us trouble, even though I've struggled so many times, I've never get to do that. I just had to keep watching what the other players think of what they have in store, and then they let it out, and to keep losing, and I had to rage quit. That's it. Alright, they won the game. On to the next level. See you later. Wait, that's on to the next level. I meant I already completed all the levels, but that's complete game for the completion. I did it.